Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're working on a 13 mini that needs a new battery. This phone went into service, meaning that the battery needs to be replaced. So we first start off by leaving the phone on the heat mat, even though I don't show it in this. You can use a hairdryer as well, or a heat gun. Then we remove the two pencil screws. I then insert a metal blade in between the screen and the housing. You can use alcohol as well to weaken the adhesive, but you just want to push the blade in ever so slightly, and then you want to push it down and angle it towards you. Applying more alcohol to weaken the adhesive. There's no harm, as you need to take your time in doing this process. And then inserted another metal blade to kind of hold it up. Noticed that it wasn't enough, so I entered it back with the blade again, and then back with my display disassembly tool. And then you want to ever so slightly take your time, use loads of alcohol if needed. You can cut away at the adhesive. You know this is the first time it's ever been opened when you have difficulties removing the screen. This is the point of the adhesive though, so that it stops water and dust from getting inside the phone, or prevents it at least. Once you've cracked the phone open, there's one tri-point screw there, holding down the bracket for the display and battery. Once that's removed, you can use your tweezers to poke down the bracket so that it can remove. We need to remove the second bracket now. There's two screws there that use the Phillips screwdriver, and there's one tri-point screw there. So once this bracket is removed, it will then expose some more connectors for the two cameras, the proximity sensor, which I'm disconnecting now. But first I'm going to disconnect the battery, and then the display cable, and then that proximity sensor. So now that the phone the screen has been removed, we're going to apply some more alcohol, top and bottom part of the battery. You can use the battery tabs, but I just can't be arsed because it takes too long and they always break. I'm going to use a battery remover, and there you go. It's as easy as that. That's how easy the battery can come out. This is why I recommend just using alcohol and a pry tool. Of course, I'm going to use a blower to blow out the alcohol, because air makes the alcohol evaporate. Then I'm using a adhesive remover machine thing. I don't think they actually have a specific name, but these are pretty handy to remove adhesive from phones. If adhesive isn't coming off, guys, what you can do is you can leave the phone on a heat mat for about 5 minutes. You'll heat up the frame of the phone, and then the adhesive comes off nice and easy. That's my battery there. I use IP9 batteries. If you want the link to my supplier, link is in the bio. They give next day shipping. Use the code TechKings for 5% off your orders within Ireland, the UK, and then Europe for next day delivery. So now I'm back to using the adhesive remover. I'm just going to remove all the adhesive that's on the sides of the phone. This is the difference between most shops, guys. They give you a fast turnaround time, but they don't actually do these little bits, basically, which removing the old adhesive and stuff like that. You can't keep using the old adhesive as it's now been broken, it's weakened, and water and dust can then infiltrate your phone, basically. So you notice after you get a screen repair off some chap, dust can get into the cameras, and water is more susceptible to get in. So we effectively do this to remove remove any adhesive first, and then we apply our new adhesive. This is what the Apple Store guys does. This is where I learned this from. Then I'm just using a tin metal blade to remove any excess adhesive. Then, so with some alcohol and a brush, we can clean up the sides of the phone, basically scrubbing off any adhesive residue so that it is nice and clean for a new adhesive strip. Guys, no other shop is doing this. They don't want to because it takes too long. You have to tell people an hour minimum to do these type of jobs, and that's why you come in with quality work. This is why people come to me, because they know the work is done properly and with maximum precision. This is what we did back in the Apple Store when I worked there. We got the job done right because we were trained by Apple and exactly what they wanted, the standards. So you see me here really like going through it and making sure everything is nice and clean. And I'll blow it out just to remove any alcohol as it evaporates as soon as the oxygen hits it. Sometimes you can go back with a cotton swab and clean everything up if it's still a bit dirty. But now I'm just going to install the battery. First you connect the battery and then you put it in. As if you put it in, then connect the battery, you may not get it flush fit. But then I'll disconnect the battery again. So we'll need to replace the water resistant seal. This is a genuine water resistant seal. So we want to line it up from the top with the cameras. And then we have to make our way down, make everything is nice and flush. You can then use a plastic tool. We call them black sticks, and you want to push that all the way across so that everything is nicely flush around the bezels of the phone. Once that's done, we can peel it off. It's as simple as that, guys. This is such a simple thing to do, but it takes a bit of time, and it makes all the difference with repairs, quality, and standards of repairs. So the new screen just goes on. We plug in the proximity sensor and then the display sensor. Then brackets come on then as well. It has a bit of a hook to it, so you have to hook it in first, and then it goes in. See, guys, these are very different to my short form content, guys. I show you guys everything I'm doing, kind of more of the troubles and stuff like that. So them 3 screws goes in. Keep in mind that 2 are different, and then the last one there is beside the sensor. So now we want to connect the battery. Be careful with it. Make sure it goes in on the right angle. And once that's connected, we can then make sure it's flush, and then that final bracket goes into place. It has a bit of a hook to it as well, so make sure you hook it in. You might have to adjust this a bit to get it right, but as you'll see here, it is going right first for the first time for me, so I kind of have to align it again. Make sure I'm pushing it in, screw to the left, then to the right, and then that's it. Good to go. So I just blew out the phone, made sure there's no dust hanging around, make sure everything is nice. A bit of a brush, clean out the cameras, make sure everything looking good. And then we want to remove the adhesive strips that are remaining so that we can then activate the adhesive. We're going to line it up, we're going to push in the screen, get a nice crunch, and then them 2 pentaloop screws go in. Oh, mine went flying, but yeah, take your time. And then you screw those 2 in. Don't go crazy now, you don't want to strip the screws yet, but that's how it's done. We'll then boot this up, we'll calibrate the screen or the battery. Customer will need to calibrate this in the settings. And we calibrate it, and then as you can see, phone is done. Thanks for watching.